Okay. What's up, guys? It's Rap Crash. Welcome back to my podcast. Maybe you just not heard. And today I have a guest with me. His name is Hams, and he has an organization called Hams. Okay. And I know y'all like, what is Hams? Like, what does that mean, right? So I'm going to ask him so he could explain it to you all because it's very dope. It's very different.
Yep.
Like, yeah. Okay. So my question to you is, what is Hams and what made you, like, come up with that word, that acronym, because that's just different.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my first name is Mark and my last name is Landing Ham. So that's kind of where Ham came from. Well, since I've been little, everybody called me Ham for short. So I kind of made that humble and motivated, right? And so that's just been kind of sticking with me throughout my life. But I used to work for CTA, and one day I was just on the bus and I was like, man, I can't do this forever. You know what I'm saying? I got to do something that's more entrepreneur, something that's more me. And I was really thinking like, okay, what can I do that's not reinventing the wheel, but let's something that still can be meaningful, right? And so with me being called Hams, I was like, well, let me call it Hams, you know what I'm saying? But I changed it up slightly with a double M with the S on the end. So it actually stands for Healing Alliance Memorable Movement Services, right?
Okay,
so
dope.
Each letter really actually means something, right? And so, but the organization itself is dealing around grief, the grief niche. And so having people dealing with, in the Black and brown community, you know, we've been dying at a rapid rate with just gun violence and just in general death. And so me understanding, knowing that we're not going to be here forever, I say, well, let me do something that's going to be meaningful that I can help people in that process. So I created Hams, and what we do is with Hams, we're actually a nonprofit, like I said, and we help those individuals go through the grieving process. So if they are, once their loved one actually passes away, we reach out to them and we actually give them one of the items that you see right in front of me, which is a legacy kit. And we wanted it to be a legacy kit because we wanted them to keep that memory alive of that loved one that's not here anymore. So there's some little odd and end things in there, some candles, a picture frame, some cards to talk about grievance and just loss itself, and then a coffee mug for, obviously, you know, for the older individuals or younger who like coffee. So just thinking about them, right? But just not trying to reinvent the wheel, but do something a little bit different. And so I did that, and like I said, on the back end of that, once the loved one is actually able to do so, we actually acquire the loved one's clothes because they're not here anymore, right?
Oh, wow, that's different.
Yeah, so we actually take those clothes, we clean, wash, sanitize them, and then we find other families or organizations in need.
Nice.
So
I've never heard it nothing like that before.
Yeah,
That's different.
So yeah, like I said, I'm trying to do
dope.
something different, but just still not because we all know we're not gonna be here forever, right? You know, our time is coming, whether it's going to be right away or, you know, we think we're gonna live forever, right?
That's interesting that you said that, because I feel like a lot of people have a mindset of like that I'm gonna be here forever, my family members gonna be here forever. And I think that when it comes to death, people take it harder, you know, with grieving, because it's like you thought that this person was going to be here forever. Absolutely. Or sometimes I feel like people don't spend quality time with their family members because they take life for granted.
Absolutely.
You know, so
Absolutely.
that's really nice. That's really dope. I like that.
Thank you.
And I like the simple fact too that you said that like y'all take the clothes and give them back to people, because it's a lot of people in this world that needs
clothes, right? And you know,
that's so different.
The simplest thing that a new shirt, new pair of pants, new pair of shoes is always something that, you know, you think like, man, this is trash. I ain't finna never wear this again.
Right.
You get that to somebody else, they throw it on like, oh man, why would you throw this away? This is dope. So, and that's why we clean, wash, sanitize them, because, you know, different situations, different things happen, but we want to make sure when we present it to someone else, they're getting it in a clean fashion form.
Right. That's nice.
Back in October, believe it or not, I had a really good family member who has a connection in Nigeria. So I actually shipped over 50 bags of clothes to Nigeria to help out people over in different countries. So that was just something dope that I did that I'm proud of doing, being part of Hams.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Legacy Lounge,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So this is different.
That's my new venture.
The people that come there, like, how does that work? Do like how does it look like when
Yes,
people come
and
there?
that's a good question, because a lot of people, when they see that, like, Legacy Lounge, talk
Right.
about my parents, talk about somebody that passed away. I don't want to be in there crying, and I don't want to be in there feeling sad and everything like that. So I didn't want it to feel churchy. I didn't want it to feel like, you're coming here to really speak their name, because you don't have to. You can literally come and be in the room and don't say anything. Just here, knowing that other people are going through the same thing. Hey, you're potentially going through. You can just be there to just for that moment and for that time and space. And so when they come out, what we do is I do when they walk in, I ask them what color balloon they would like, right? And so they give me whatever color they would like, and I blow the balloon up, and then I let them write whatever they want, the loved one's name, the loved one's a quote or something that they can just remember that loved one for, and I just have them write that on there. And so if they would like to come up and speak on it, they can come up and say, hey, this is whoever that I'm representing today. And then I give them about 5 or 10 minutes to tell their story, whatever they would like to do. And then we do a candlelight visual at the end, and then we do a balloon release right after that. So it's just something, like I say, different, something that's unique and still is touching, because it's like, hey, your loved one is your loved one, and you grieve how you grieve, but during that time, we're here for you. Hams is truly here for you, to let you have that space.
Right. I actually like this because, like, I was just telling somebody, I'm like, I feel like when somebody died that's close to you, like your mama, your daughter, your son, you got to go back to work. Your job give you, like, 1 week to bereave.
That's it.
Then you got to put the funeral together.
Yep.
It's like, when do you actually have time to, like, process this?
Absolutely.
You got to go back to work like ain't nothing happened.
Yep.
So I actually like this because it give a person, like, a place to, like, be vulnerable and be open and actually deal with the pain.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like living in this world today, I feel like we need places where people can go and they could just, like, release, because we got therapy. Then we got church. But some people be like, I don't want to go to therapy. I don't want to go to church.
Yep.
And I like how you said that too. You was like, I don't want it to be churchy.
Yeah, at all.
I like that because I'm like, that's different. That is so different.
Because I'm not a pastor in no way, shape,
Right,
or
so it'll
that's
give
not
people
my lane.
it give people a place to just be like, okay, I don't gotta feel like, I'm finna come up in here and, like, they finna look. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I'm not looking at, you ain't got to get baptized or nothing when you come in,
Right.
join the new church. And
Right, I love that. Another question I have for you is, like, I feel like in Chicago they say, like, the gun violence and all that is crazy. How you feel about that?
I actually feel that it's really sad. I've had several, not several, but I have few family members as well as cousins have been passed away from gun violence. So it is definitely prevalent in my life, and it was hard dealing with that. Just seeing friends and family go through that, knowing like he was just here yesterday and now he's gone to today.
Right.
So it's definitely something that